Fueling is one of the most important parts of running, yet it's something that nearly everybody struggles with. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the science of fueling for running and how I incorporate it into my day-to-day life and into my training. Let's dive into it. When it comes to running nutrition, this chart right here can help us visualize our energy systems that we use while we're running. So over here on this axis, we have the energy use percentage. Down here, we have intensity. And when our intensity is low, as you can see, our fat, the green line, our fat utilization percentage is pretty much at 100. That's if we're sitting on the couch, maybe really slowly walking around the house. Our fat energy use percentage is pretty much 100. But as our intensity increases this way, fat usage goes down and we start using more and more carbs. So as intensity increases, fat goes down, carbs increase. This sweet spot right here is our aerobic threshold. And this is the point where we switch over from primarily fat burning and our oxygen systems to then going more anaerobic above our aerobic threshold. And now we're primarily burning carbs. So the important thing to know with all of this is that at some point we're going to run out of carbs. That is why we must fuel with carbs before, during, and after big workouts, because our fat stores, we'll have tons of fat in our bodies. Those will last us for days and days. But carbs, we have very limited storage capacities in our bodies. And as our intensity increases over time, we're going to run out of those carb stores. So in this video, I'm gonna break down how we can utilize carbs and nutrition for running to be able to run faster, longer, and farther. When it comes to big workouts and race day, these are the numbers that I try to hit and what I would recommend you aim for as well. Now there's two key things to keep in mind here. One is testing everything. Everybody's stomach is different, everybody's palates are different, so try different gels, try different hydration products, different liquid calories, different whole food options. Try as many different things as you can in your training to see what fits best for you and your stomach. What works for me might not work for you. Second thing to keep in mind here is this is per hour. I think when it comes to running nutrition, it's much better to think of things in terms of time rather than I'm gonna take a gel every 5 miles or I'm gonna take a gel at this checkpoint in the race. Do it based off of time because an hour is the same for everybody, but 5 miles for me might be different for you. So do your nutrition based off of time. It's never gonna change, it's always gonna be consistent. So the first important thing here is carbs. As I just mentioned, carbs are one of the most important aspects of fueling when it comes to running. So for me personally, I aim for 60 to 90 grams of carbs. I would really recommend starting at about 60 grams of carbs per hour. And then as you train your stomach, just like you would train your legs, you can slowly increase that carb intake, but start slow and slowly work your way up. Some elite runners go up to 100 grams plus per hour, but me personally, I usually cap out at around 90 to 100 grams of carbs per hour. Now when it comes to calories, that generally translates to about 200 to 400 calories per hour. As far as we know, our bodies are capable of processing around 400 calories per hour. Anything beyond that point, you're probably gonna start puking it up. So try and cap it at about 400. Again, I would really recommend starting around the lower end, around 200 calories per hour. Sodium, this is absolutely important for hydration. Everybody's sweat rates are a little bit differently. Our sodium concentrations of our sweat are all gonna be different. So for most people, sticking to this range of about 500 to 1500 milligrams of sodium per hour is a great place to start. Obviously, if it's hotter out, if you're a saltier sweater or a heavier sweater, you're gonna have to do more sodium. Same thing goes for water. Our electrolytes, our sodium, and our water are just a balance. The more sodium you intake, the more water you're gonna have to intake. The more water you intake, the more sodium you're gonna have to intake. So I think the best way to go about that is really just monitoring your pee, your urine color. If your urine is dark yellow, that means either pull back on the electrolytes a little bit or increase your water intake, or a little bit both. Or if your pee is super clear, that means you can pull back on the water a little bit or increase your electrolytes a little bit, or both. So you want your pee to be that nice, like middle ground, just a light yellow color. I think that's truly the best way to monitor your hydration levels, but these numbers here are a great place to start. So that's what I do for big workouts and race day. Again, don't forget to test everything and do your nutrition based off of an hourly basis. day-to-day nutrition is just as important as the nutrition around our workouts and races. So this is what that looks like for me personally, and this is what I recommend for ultra athletes, people who run, lift, or exercising on a day-to-day basis, very active people. Carbs are going to be the vast majority of our calories, 60%. Fats and protein will then be 20% each. Now, break that down by body weight. Is going to be protein will be about 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Fats, 1 gram of fat per kilogram of body weight, and carbs will be 5 grams per kilogram of body weight. And just to broadly put that as calories, aim for generally around 40 calories per kilogram of body weight. Now for me, this ends up being about 3,000 calories total on just a day-to-day basis, not including the calories that I'm taking in around workouts. So days where I have long runs where I'm doing an additional 300-400 calories per hour, that's gonna tack on sometimes 2,000-3,000 extra calories depending on the length of the run. So on a day-to-day basis, this is what my nutrition looks like, and I try and source all of this from healthy, whole, nutrient-dense foods. I try and avoid processed foods, try and avoid seed oils. Basically, I try and eat as close to a caveman as possible. So if it doesn't come out of the earth, or if a caveman couldn't have eaten it, I generally don't eat it. So throughout this video, you'll be able to see what kinds of foods I'm eating to help fit into this macro goal. And the other thing to note is I don't track macros personally, but I've tracked before. I have a pretty good idea of what I'm eating, and I recommend that to anybody as well. Is if you've never tracked calories before, you have no clue what your macros look like, how many calories you're eating, I would recommend doing it for maybe 3 to 4 days and just getting yourself a good idea of where you're at, and then kind of go from there. So that's my nutrition plan for workouts, races, and on a day-to-day basis. Now, in the rest of this video, I'm gonna show you guys how I actually implement that into my day-to-day life. We just drove 13 hours from Montana, and we are now here in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It is insanely beautiful out here. However, we're not staying here in Vancouver. We're actually across what they call Horseshoe Bay, and we're staying in a small town called Gibsons. It's like a 30-45 minute ferry ride across the water. Very, very excited to explore this place for the next 30 days. Okay, this morning we are doing a hill sprint workout. So I'm gonna show you guys how I'm fueling before this workout. And this is basically my same fuel that I do before every speed workout. So first we've got a bottle of water. This is 24 ounces. In here, we're gonna do 1 scoop of Switchback. This is our new tropical mango flavor. Every serving has 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 500 milligrams of coconut water powder, 400 milligrams of potassium. Basically, electrolytes help with water absorption. It helps tell your body basically where to send water throughout your entire body so you can stay hydrated properly. Helps your nervous system, prevent cramps, all that good stuff while you're out performing. Then I'm gonna do a pack of 2Before blackcurrant powder. I've talked about this product endlessly, but it is basically blackcurrant berry powder, and in here has this magical compound called anthocyanins, and that helps to dilate your blood vessels so you have more blood flow, better recovery, also a ton of antioxidants, so great for your immune system. But essentially, more blood flow equals more efficient muscles for our workout today. So I'm gonna shake this up, drink this, open it, drink that over the next like 15 minutes. For carbs today, I'm gonna do one of these Honey Plus gels. These are probably one of my favorite gels pre-run because it's whole foods, easy on the stomach, tastes good. There's also extra electrolytes in here, and who doesn't like honey? So I'm gonna squeeze this down, and then for some extra carbs, I'm just gonna do some fruit. So I've got blueberries and blackberries. So all of this should be around 100 grams of carbs total. That's usually kind of my goal. He wants a berry. So this ends up being around 100 grams of carbs before the run. Now for the shoes for today's run, we are going with the Brooks Hyperion Max 3. These things are so good, so good. They've got a nylon plate in here, so they're very stiff. They've also got this crazy stack height, so perfect for speed workout. Gonna be perfect for hill sprints today. So first, I'm gonna consume all this. Then I'm gonna take these crazy boys. We're gonna go run 2 miles as just an easy warm up. There's a trail like 100 meters from our house here, so we'll go run that, and then meet back up with you guys on the hill where we'll do our hill sprint workout. But that's my fuel for this workout. All right, 2 mile warm up complete with the dogs. Now we are here on this beautifully steep hill, but look at this view out here. That's literally the ocean, beautiful mountains back there, and we're gonna do some hill sprints today. So I've been doing speed workouts 2 times a week. Today is gonna be the second speed workout for the week, and what I'm gonna do is 10 times 1 minute hill sprints. So basically this hill, I think it should be about a minute long. We're gonna go hard, probably like 95% effort, and then we'll rest, jog, walk down the hill for about a minute, and then we'll just do that 10 times. So be a good workout. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna suck, but these hill workouts do so much for the power, turnover in your legs, threshold, all that good stuff. So feeling good. We'll see how we feel after this. So steep. I don't even tell on camera, but it's very steep. Whew. 2 reps done. My watch said this is about 20% grade. I think it might be steeper. It's very steep, and the hill seems to peak at the steepness right at the top. So only 8 more. When I'm doing sprints like this, it's just like drive the knees. It's all in the knees. Forward motion, use the arms, drive the knees, focus on like fast turnover in your legs, high cadence. These are brutal, these are brutal. 7 more. I think hill sprints are honestly the most underrated or underutilized forms of building fitness. It's low impact because your foot's traveling less distance. You're not pounding quite as much as you would on a track or flat ground. And because you're going uphill, it requires a lot more muscular power. So you're also building muscle in your legs and obviously the endurance and a ton of cardio. So yeah, they just leave you feeling less sore, so you can do more of them. There we go. We're there. 5 more. 3 more. All right, 10 times 1 minute hill sprints, done. Thank goodness. That was hard. That was very hard. We don't have hills like this in Texas, but you also don't get views like this in Texas either. A good workout today. Legs are definitely feeling it, but again, doing workouts like this, I'm not gonna be that sore tomorrow because it's not that much impact on the ground, which is nice. So that's a workout. We'll head back inside and make our post-workout meal. We'll see y'all in there. All right, post hill sprint workout, we're going with kettle and fire chicken bone broth. This has become a staple in my daily routine. Bone broth is so good, so healthy for you. Just straight protein, plus it hydrates you at the same time. Kettle and fire is great. It tastes amazing. It's all super clean, healthy ingredients. 19 grams of protein per serving. So generally what I do, literally right after a workout, I will pour a mug full. I'm gonna throw this in the microwave. I'm also gonna throw some salt and butter in here. Also, right now, Bree and I are traveling in British Columbia for the next 30 days. So great thing about bone broth is it doesn't have to be refrigerated until after you open it. So I brought a bunch of these up here with us. Easy to travel with, pack around. There we go. 19 grams of protein in there. If you guys want to try out Kettle and Fire bone broth for yourself, I'll put a discount link down in the description. Go check it out. It's truly incredible stuff. Great for you, tastes good. All right, I'm gonna go shower. We'll be back to make our proper post-run meal. All right, this is our post-workout meal. Like I mentioned earlier, when you're outside of training, you really gotta prioritize fats and protein. Just gonna help with recovery. The more fuel you give your body outside of training, the better you're gonna be able to recover, the better you're gonna be able to perform when it comes time to actually training. So what I have is 4 eggs scrambled, and then we have some leftover Frank's Butcher Shop ribeyes that we made for dinner last night. And then in here I have a ton of fruit. We have some local cherries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, whole big bowl of fruit there. And then we got a glass of milk, of course, and very excited about this. This is skyr yogurt. It's like a type of Icelandic yogurt, similar to Greek yogurt. I'm gonna do maybe like a cup or so in the bowl. And just by itself, it's like a little sour. It doesn't have a lot of flavor or anything, but it's literally just straight protein, 0 fat, very few carbs, and 19 grams of protein in there. And it's literally 2 ingredients. It's milk and yogurt cultures. So very clean, very healthy. And I'm gonna add some local British Columbian honey in there just to sweeten it up, add some extra flavor. Oh, yes. Mix that around. So this is gonna be my main meal for today. I really only eat 2 meals on a day-to-day basis. This is like the first big one, and then we'll have dinner later. But try and just get as many nutrients, whole foods, high quality stuff in as possible. Again, prioritizing protein and fat. Also, gotta have carbs too. So the fruit has carbs, milk has a little bit of carbs. This has a small amount of carbs. We're gonna devour this, and we've got a 6-hour run this weekend. So we'll see you guys then. Good morning, everybody. We are doing a 3-hour trail run today. The goal for today is we're gonna run up this mountain back here called Mount Elphinstone. It's about 7.5 miles up, 3,500 feet of elevation gain each way. And we're gonna try to do that twice within about 3 to 3.5 hours. So for the fuel for today, I've got 4 flasks with me, and each one is half of a Morton Drink Mix 320. So basically a Morton Drink Mix 160, and a scoop of Switchback. So 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 40 grams of carbs in each of these bottles. And then at all times, I'm gonna have this bottle with me. This has my filter flask in there. So I think there's a few creek crossings, so that way if I run out of water, I can just refill with my filter flask here. Try and aim to consume 1 of these bottles every hour or so. And then for carbs, we've got Precision Nutrition, we've got Morton 160s, and then I also have Untapped and Spring Energy. So I like to have a wide variety of gels. I also like to mix in kind of the more like artificial type of gels with the whole food gels. Just find it easier on the stomach, easier on the palate as well. And then for shoes today, we've got the Brooks Catamount 4. These have been my go-to trail shoes. I've been rocking these a lot. These are what I'm gonna wear on race day for Crazy Mountain 100. They've got a rock plate in here, so they're a little bit stiffer, which I like, especially on trails that are a little bit more technical or rocky, and I feel like I can just run a little bit faster. But been loving these shoes lately. Yeah, we got 3 hours today, 2 summits of Mount Elphinstone. Let's go do it. All right, we are at the trailhead, about to take off here. One last thing I wanted to mention is if you're doing a trail, like especially a new trail like this, where I've never been here before, you don't want to get lost, obviously. There's forks in the trail. I always recommend, if you have the All Trails app, you can export the GPX file, not GPS, GPX file from All Trails to your GPS watch. So I have a Coros, so I basically sent the GPX file from the app to my Coros, and then as I'm out here on the trails, it'll beep at me if I'm getting too far off trail. It'll also tell me like the elevation, or like you can set checkpoints to like water stops or aid stations, things like that. So that way you don't get off route, you don't go off trail, you don't get lost out here in the mountains. So that's how I'm going to make my way to the top of this mountain, is just following my watch here. So if you're newer to trail running or you don't know this feature, highly recommend checking it out. All right, we're already about a mile into this. I've already climbed 700 feet of elevation, and we've already seen our first black bear of the day. Just a little cub, which is always a little scary, because you know if there's a cub, there's probably a mama somewhere around here. But it's pretty far away, maybe like 100 meters off the trail, so not too worried. But this is a good climb. Feeling good though. Beautiful trails out here. Very luscious forests. Steep, but very smooth single track trails. So we're just gonna enjoy it, keep climbing, maybe run into more bears. We'll see. All right, 30 minutes in, we're gonna do our first gel. We'll be doing a gel every 30 minutes. Morton 160. Almost 2 miles in. The trail is 4 miles up to the summit, 4 miles back. So we're already almost halfway up. I'd love to try and get up there in about an hour. So we'll see. We're on pace so far. See you soon. Almost 3 miles in, 2,500 feet of gain. Getting close to the summit. The goal, effort-wise for today, is to try and match my 100-mile effort. So obviously this just being 3 to 3.5 hours, I could probably push a lot harder, but I'm restraining myself a bit, just to make sure I'm matching what I'll be doing on race day, because we are less than a month out now. We're like 28 days or something, so trying to just hone in on that 100-mile effort feel. Here we go. It's getting foggy, it's getting wet. Also the trail has gotten very technical. Lots of roots, more rocks up here. It's really slippery. Beautiful. Getting close. All right, here's the trail. We're scrambling a little bit here. Going up to all these roots. Very slippery. Lots and lots of roots. Summit number 1 is done. We made it up here, 3,500 feet, just over 4 miles, an hour, 26 minutes. Definitely took longer than I thought getting up here. It was just super technical the last mile, but we made it. Unfortunately, it's all socked in with clouds, so don't really have any views up here, but it is nice. So I think Ryden, videographer, is coming up here right now. So I'm gonna head back down, pass him, hit the bottom, turn around, come back up, and hopefully meet him up here again. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm doing this whole thing in 3 hours. It might be honestly closer to like 4. We'll see how long it takes me to get down, but we'll see. All right, see you in a bit. Yo! Oh, good.
How you feel?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
5 miles in. All right, we met back up with Ryden, about a mile down from the summit. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go back up to the summit together, get some content up there, shoot, whatnot, and then we'll go all the way back down, and then I'll probably come back up to where I met up with them at. So I'm still getting the same mileage same vert and decline, but this way we can be up at the summit together. What do we think? Yeah, doing this with a backpack and a heavy ass camera. So, getting closer, very technical. Fog is clearing up a little bit, so hopefully at the summit we can see. Okay, we made it up here for the second summit, second kind of summit, sort of. Medically riding, came up another like mile. Just come up here, check out the summit one more time. But now it is extremely foggy. We're gonna shoot some like photos and videos up here, but it's way too clouded in to really get much. So he said this that we're standing on is like an decommissioned helicopter pad, which is pretty cool. I wish we could see, because apparently there's insane views up here, so we'll just have to imagine it. But now what I'm gonna do is head back down the mountain, go all the way back to the trailhead, and then probably hike back up another like 2 or 3 miles just to get my vert and mileage for the day. So fun day out here. Unfortunately no views, but still got to enjoy some beautiful time in the mountains. And yeah, good day of training up here so far. Here we go. Insane. We're not trail running anymore. No. This is a fun little section.
Mountain goat.
Okay, we are about 3 hours in. Just made it back down to the car. Grabbed another water bottle with Switchback and Morton in there. And then we're heading back up the trail to basically just meet up with Ryden, see where he's at. And once I meet up with him, just come back down with him. That should put us at like, I think like 14, 15 miles for the day. And probably about 4 hours. I really only planned on 3 hours today. But with this trail being more technical than I anticipated, just took a little bit longer around the top. So either way, got a ton of vert today. We're gonna probably get like over 6,000 feet and gain and descent and a good like 4-hour push. So definitely a solid training day. Kind of bummed I didn't like do the proper 2 summits, but it really doesn't matter because my stats for the day are pretty much exactly the same. Nutrition's going well. Gel every 30 minutes. Lots of water. Switchback, Morton drink mix. We're feeling good, so see you soon. .6 mile run done. We had 6,000 feet of elevation gain and loss. Total today was 4.5 hours out here on the trails. I think we did a pretty good job of like matching 100-mile race effort. We did stop and whatnot to get photos and video and just like enjoy the trail a little bit more. But overall, great day of fueling, hydration, nutrition, testing out gear. We got to use the poles quite a bit today, which is nice. Having everything in the pack like we're gonna have on race day. So yeah, thanks Ryden for coming out here, hanging with me all the way up to Mount Elphinstone. Beautiful day out here in BC. Epic training grounds that we're gonna have for the next few weeks. That is the video though. What I eat, what I plan on eating for a 100-mile race coming up. Hopefully you guys got something out of this as far as daily nutrition, how to fuel for your workouts, your races, and implement that into your training and your lifestyle. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment, let me know, and we'll see y'all in episode 7. Let's go. We are less than a month out from Crazy Mountain 100, so getting down to the wire. We'll see you soon.